Listen to part of a talk in a literature class. Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss the sonnet. Originally this was a type of poem exclusively found in Italy. Indeed, the name sonnet comes from an Italian word meaning a song or little poem. The Italian poet Giacomo de Lentini is credited with inventing sonnets in the 13th century, but they were also written by other well-known Italians of the same period, including Dante. Some fine examples were even written by the artist Michelangelo, if you can believe it. After gaining popularity in Italy, sonnets were introduced to England at the beginning of the 16th century. They were not widely popular in that country until acclaimed poets like Philip Sidney, Edmund Spenser, and especially William Shakespeare began to write them. They remained a popular poetic form until the 17th century, went out of fashion for a time, and then became popular again. Traditional sonnets have certain characteristics. They have exactly 14 lines and follow a rhyme scheme. Further, they adhere to a specific structure and are written in iambic pentameter. That's a lot to take in, I know, so let's cover those characteristics in more detail. Before focusing on the rhyme scheme, we first need to know that traditional sonnets come in two kinds. First is the Italian or Petrarchan sonnet, named after the poet Petrarch. The second is the English or Shakespearean sonnet, named for Shakespeare, of course. The forms are named because these poets are the most acclaimed practitioners of that form of sonnet, not because they are its originator. As mentioned, sonnets have 14 lines that rhyme in a specific pattern. In Italian sonnets, the traditional rhyme scheme for the first 8 lines of the poem, known as the octave, is A, B, B, A, then A, B, B, A again. The different letters indicate which lines rhyme with which other lines. In this case, every line A rhymes with every other line A, and every line B rhymes with every other B. The last 6 lines, the sestet, follow a different rhyme scheme. This was originally either C-D-E, C-D-E, or C-D-C, C-D-C. But over time, poets began to change the traditional patterns, and rhyme schemes for the sestet like C-D-C, D-C-D were introduced. English sonnets, in contrast, traditionally follow a different structure and rhyme scheme. They consist of 3 quatrains, groups of 4 lines, with the rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, then C, D, C, D, then E, F, E, F. They finish with a 2-line couplet with a G, G rhyme scheme. The final characteristics of sonnets is that they are written in iambic pentameter. We defined this 1 week ago, but review never hurts, right? The term iambic pentameter describes the rhythm of a line of poetry as indicated by its stressed and unstressed syllable. In technical terms, an iamb is an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. And pentameter means the line has 5 iambs. Penta means 5 in Greek. So when you read a sonnet aloud, the rhythm of each line sounds a bit like the beating of a human heart. Dadum, 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 dadum. Now, in addition to the characteristics that I've already described, sonnets traditionally have a volta, or turn, which signals a change or resolution to a problem introduced earlier in the poem. We'll discuss the volta after looking at some examples of famous sonnets. Question 6. What does the professor mainly discuss? Question 7. What point does the professor make about sonnets? Question 8. What is the professor's attitude when he mentions the artist Michelangelo? Question 9. What does the professor say about Petrarchan and Shakespearean sonnets? Question 10. Which rhyme scheme would you expect the first 8 lines of a Petrarchan sonnet to have? Question 11. Listen again to part of the talk. What does the professor imply when he says this? The final characteristics of sonnets is that they are written in iambic pentameter. We defined this 1 week ago, but review never hurts, right?